Shanti sister, how are you?
Om Shanti, brother. I'm fine. How are you, brother?
I'm very fine too, sister.
What shall we discuss today, brother?
Today, whole India is speaking about Ranveer, a famous YouTuber issue. Even I have watched some of his videos, but I have no idea that he is also part of some adults only content. That actually shocked me because in his channel, Beer Biceps, he always speaks about spirituality, and he'll definitely ask about spirituality even if that video is not related to spirituality. So he has that image. So all of a sudden when social media is filled with videos blaming him, uh, when I clicked on it and watch him speaking so vulgar, I was really shocked. So she was asking questions like, mm, will you watch your parents having sex daily or will you join with them? This is something I don't think even foreign media won't be discussing like this. So, how one's mind should be corrupted to speak like this? Because it wouldn't come just like that. So this proves the kind of spirituality he thinks is spirituality is definitely not spirituality. That's the reason. Say, we belong to Brahma Kumaris. Do you think any Brahma Kumaris will accept to host such adult content show, even if they were offered crores of rupees for that? They will not. Do you think will Shivani Didi accept this? Because one sister was also part of the show and she was asking more vulgar questions than Ranveer. So that was very shocking. So really, I think we are glad at least now government realizes how serious it is. The social media, it corrupts people's mind. But still, I don't know if it is possible to control everything because in the name of dance, they are actually delivering soft pornography, as another famous YouTuber Desh Bhatt says. So recently, I watched one video where a school principal says after Corona, people's mind has become so corrupted. First reason to blame is Corona. Second is social media. So gone are the days where students were afraid of teachers and principal. Now it is in reverse. Students bring sword into a classroom. They come drunk to the classroom. So recently, one boy brought some handmade bomb to the classroom. So we are laughing at America that people bring pistols to classroom, shoot each other. Now it is not accessible to common people here, or else we can't imagine what would happen here. And also, she says students' eyes are no longer pure nowadays. It's so criminal. It's not shocking seeing these kinds of contents because Ranveer Allahbadiya, he has the reputation that we can watch his shows with family. With such reputation, he's one of the top YouTubers. He doesn't have to accept that kind of show. Why did he do that? I really don't understand that. So he doesn't bother about his reputation. It clearly shows he bothers only about money and fame. So because uh, the other participants of the show, I have never watched their videos before. Ranveer is so famous possibly because he is also having English channel and Hindi channel separately. So for those like us who are not that fluent in Hindi, we always prefer watching English videos. So he is famous, but likewise in every language there are YouTube channels that delivers contents that corrupt human mind. So after Corona, we can no longer restrict mobile phones to kids because we are forced to give mobile phones to kids because they had to study online. So many uh, such immoral activities happened during Corona uh, in the teachers community itself. They had sex chats with their students, female students. So altogether, human mind is corrupt, whether it's teacher or student. It has become such things. But this is very extreme. What this show called India's Got Latent. So actually, America's Got Talent is a very famous show in America. So they think they need quick um, viewers and money. So they have copied that America's Got Talent show, which is actually talent. But here it's not talent. Calling YouTubers to the show and asking such vulgar questions, it's really bad that one girl who also participated in the show, she was asking the contestant about private part of a girl. This is really very shocking because they think they can copy everything from Western nation. Even Western nation, they won't do this in a reality show with the public. Maybe they will do with the celebrity, but that has a totally different culture. But here we are seeing rape after rape on daily basis. So if you add more dirt through social media, that's not going to help because it's already disgusting. The society itself has become like that. Now they are doing like this. And that headmistress said, students' eyes are no longer looking at the face of the teacher. Instead, they are looking at the body of the teacher. How can teacher then teach? So they're so corrupted. They don't even bother about the age of the teacher, even if it is 20-year-old girl or a 50-year-old teacher. They don't bother because their mind is so corrupted. So this has no solution at all. Actually, we need to teach kids. Now people are speaking about the need to bring sex education to schools. Already they are so corrupted. If you teach something like that, they will still be eager to know about that. They know everything before you teach. Now the only thing we need to teach is how bad sex is, how corrupted your mind will become once you let something sexual into it. That is something you need to teach. That is something the whole world students lack. Because even if you have infatuation with a girl or guy, that will intoxicate your mind to the extent that it cannot think clearly. It cannot decide clearly. So you can't take the correct decision. So your whole life will be in big trouble and you can't concentrate. This is something teachers know it unconsciously. That's why during our days when we study, if somebody gives love letter to a girl, usually male students used to give love letters back then, but now the time has become totally different. Even girls are have become like that. So immediately they will give TC to that guy. They will send him out of the school because that's going to corrupt other guys. So that's good because that gives the signal that this is wrong. If you do this, you will face similar consequence. But now we see in Tamil Nadu Anna University, one outsider, he managed to come into the campus in the evening by 7 o'clock, and one final year student or senior student was having chat with a girl in a somewhat dark place where there is no light and or CCTV camera. He was hiding in a bush, and he came. He said, "I have taken this as video." God knows what they were doing there. So he said, "I will send this video to your parents." Shall I say? Or you get lost. So the guy, after quarreling, he left the place. Then he actually raped her within the campus. But people were saying uh, there were two kinds of opinions. What did she do in the dark place? So people said it's her right. So is that why university is for? So people now their mind is so corrupted they want to agree all corruption. They want to normalize everything. As a result, we are seeing such shows. So now, no matter how Ranveer is going to speak about spirituality, nobody is going to believe him. They're just going to think he is acting. Because what is in him, it came out in that video. But I think the channel has deleted all videos. But still, it's already available in news channels. We have seen it. So it not only promotes sex, but also it promotes incest. Sex between close relatives like mother and child, father and child. That's unimaginable. Only dirt minds will look for that in dark websites. But he's so famous. What's the need for him to do that? If he's just starting out, then they will look for such shortcut methods to become success. He's already a success. So this proves that there is no one to guide this generation. Everybody is an orphan now. So just the moment politicians take this matter in hand and start speaking against it, only then they realize what kind of dirt they are in. They were totally out of their mind. So he doesn't know spirituality means refraining from sex. He even invited BK Shivani Didi to his show. I don't know whether she informed this at all. At least if she informed this, because this is high time that we should speak out what is truth. Because there are many spiritual gurus who are making business. So they will say you can eat anything you like. You can have sex. You can have multiple sexual partners. But that's not spirituality. Spirituality is something that helps in the uh, it helps your spiritual growth. That is removing all corruption from your spirit. That is the soul. It shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why we apply tilak. So that's the first lesson of spirituality. Which spiritual guru is teaching that? Except Brahma Kumaris. In Brahma Kumaris, it's not run by a spiritual guru. It's run directly by God Himself. So we should be speaking this instead of positive thinking. Because there are n number of people to speak about positive thinking, but nobody is there to speak about God's knowledge. because people wouldn't. This is not the indication of the progressive society. It's an indication of regressive society. They have to understand that we can no longer send our girl kids alone in the night. Before 20 years, when I happened to go to Mumbai, uh, I slept in the evening. I thought I would wake up at 8 o'clock to have dinner, but I forgot. But I was very hungry in the middle of the night. So I didn't think that hotel would be open, but still I uh, thought I could try. When I went, I was shocked because that hotel was filled with girls. We could not imagine Tamil Nadu like that even back then. So it was so progressive. It was safe back then. But I don't think even Mumbai is safe now. I have no idea, but still, I think so. Because of the corruption people consume daily through social media. So now we are seeing the whole world is suffering due to inflation. They can't afford to buy even the basic needs. Everything's rate is increasing daily. It will never decrease because our mind is corrupted, because we are acting out our mind, we are committing sins. As a result, we are being punished in the form of inflation, in the form of corona, in the form of natural calamities. We are seeing daily basis because earthquake was not common in India, but now it's becoming common. Tremors is common nowadays. So we are at the verge of destruction. But this is not something that we don't expect because God comes just 100 years before the destruction of this world to give the knowledge about this 5,000 year time cycle called Kalpa. It was heaven for the first 2,500 years, slowly becomes hell. The same world we live in was hell, was heaven in the beginning. The residents of heaven are being worshipped as deities by Hindus. Where have they all gone? Sri Krishna, Sri Ram, Sita. They were residents of heaven. They were as pure as God, which is why we worship them, but they are not God. Then who are they? Where are they now? They have undergone rebirth after rebirth and they have started taking birth in hell. And in the end, they have lost everything. They are none but we. So God reveals the truth. You were the deities in the beginning. I have given you heaven filled with unlimited treasures in terms of wealth, in terms of health. We had no diseases at all. Disease free, pain free society. Even lion and cow will take water from the same pond. It is also mentioned in Bible and Quran. So such holy was India in the beginning. Because India was heaven in the beginning. Now India has become the extreme hell, which is revealed through these shows. So because he is famous, now this issue is serious. But many dirt things are there on YouTube itself. You need not go to a pornographic site. On YouTube itself, this is verbal pornography. What he says is so. In Hindi, they say Vinash Kale Viprit Buddhi. That means at the time of destruction, our mind will have no love for God. Even if they, whether they are believers of God or non-believers of God, but they will have no love for God. God reveals that. While you were in heaven, you were as pure as God Himself, and you have no traces of any vices like lust, anger, greed, attachment, or ego with you. Even childbirth happens when husband and wife have the thought of having a baby, not through lust. They have no idea what lust is. They don't even get disturbed slightly. Although they were very beautiful, both men and women were very beautiful. Their beauty can never be compared with anybody, including the Miss World or Miss Universe or Mr. Universe. They were that beautiful. Nonetheless, they were so pure. How's that possible? God says because they were soul conscious. They were not body conscious. They always consider themselves to be souls because it is the soul that sees through the eyes, speaks through the mouth, performs every single act through this body. Body is just an instrument to make um, whatever the soul wishes to come true. This is just an instrument, nothing more than that. They were quite aware of that. When they were speaking with each other, their focus will automatically go in between the eyebrows. As a result, they were constantly blissful because that's the true nature of the soul. So they were so happy and so content that they have no need to derive pleasure from anything external to them. That's the reason, not only lust, they will not be attracted to anything because they themselves were the embodiment of happiness and peacefulness. That's the reason we worship them. That's the reason we experience at least uh, a trace of that pleasure when we visit their temple, Hindu temples. And in the end, God says, you wear that. It is because you become body conscious slowly, this world becomes hell. You start committing sins under the influence of five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. The root cause is that you consider yourself to be the body instead of the soul. You need to come out of it. This body is made up of five elements. Usually, they compare this with earth. So, come out of this earthly consciousness. That's the reason in Bible and Quran they show that God arises Adam from the earth, from the clay. So it doesn't mean that he's making a toy out of clay and giving life to that. No, we are that. Now God brings us back to life, fills us with the divine qualities that we originally had, removing all the devilish qualities like lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. How does he do that? God says, first consider yourself to be the soul and remember me, the supreme soul, who is the father of all souls. Uh, this is where God resides. This is the orange, golden orange colored light world. So we souls will be there without bodies. Even God will be there all the time. So if we are eligible to enter heaven, we will start taking birth in heaven. That too, not everybody comes at the same time. Those who are 100% pure, they will take birth in the beginning. If they are just 98%, they will have to wait for some time to take birth in heaven. If they are just 50% pure, they will enter only in the middle. So, how do we become pure? What is purity? God says, becoming free of all vices. That is the true nature of soul. That is called pure. How do you become pure? Because whatever you see, listen to, think of, everything is impure now. That is Kali, Gor Kali. You need to develop the practice of seeing, not seeing while seeing, not listening while hearing, because everything is going to corrupt you. So if you have to see, just see the imperishable soul, not this perishable body, because by seeing the perishable body, you have lost everything God gave you. So now consider yourself to be the imperishable soul. Consider yourself dead to this world, this bodily world, dead to this body. Consider yourself just as a soul without a body. And also see each other as a soul. If somebody speaks with you, just consider that soul is speaking with you. Just like in Bible and Quran, uh, when Moses sees God, he sees the fire and he listens to the sound from that fire. Doesn't mean God speaks like a fire. He is also a soul. He enters an old man's body and gives this knowledge. But our focus should be in between the eyebrow of that old man, whom God names as Brahma, because that's where God is seated and giving this knowledge. That's why in the scripture it is mentioned Kartik was born through the forehead of God Shiva. Of course, God's name is Shiva. He is called Allah by Muslims. Allah means God, that's not the name. Heavenly Godfather by Christians, it's a relationship, not the name. His name is Shiva. God is just one for every religion. He doesn't take birth like us through the mother's womb. He stays away from taking rebirth. Nonetheless, only he has the knowledge about this time cycle. So he has to come and give this, or else, no matter how knowledgeable he is, if he's not going to give that to us, what's the use of that knowledge? So that's why he directly enters an old man's body, names him Brahma. And whoever listens to the knowledge of God through the mouth of Brahma, they are called Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, which means sons and daughters of Brahma. What's the essence of that knowledge? Consider yourself to be the soul and remember the father of the soul as a star in the golden red colored light world. Or consider him to be the star shining in the golden red colored sky. The more you remember him, more your soul becomes pure, like God. It depends on the time you allot to remember God. And also, you have to keep your mind busy with the knowledge of God. For that, we need to listen to Murli, which is the direct knowledge of God, which is available in all Brahmakumaris center, absolutely free of cost. So this is the knowledge BK Shivani is supposed to teach. Unfortunately, she is not doing that. Instead, she is focusing on positive thinking. Maybe that's the reason. Even after giving the interview to Ranveer Allahbadiya, he is busy in such dirt issues. If we, after taking the direct knowledge of God, only we have that privilege, because not everybody is going to understand that knowledge. 1 in million will understand. After understanding this, is it not our responsibility to save our brothers and sisters? So that's the reason somebody should have to, except Brahma Kumaris, whatever you have listened to so far, my dear brothers and sisters, that's not true. Everybody says God is the truth, right? It means everybody else is false. God is just only one. He comes only once. His knowledge is just one. What he does is he is bringing us back to soul conscious from body consciousness. All you need to do is to always consider yourself to be the soul and remember God as the supreme soul. No matter what you do, walk, talk, take bath, take food, whatever you do, just consider yourself to be the son or daughter of God. Consider yourself to be the soul all the time. And you are uh, preparing yourself to enter heaven. Because through Murli, God says how deities would be like, how pure their vision would be, how sweet their words would be. He's teaching this daily. So you have to constantly keep your mind busy churning the knowledge of God and remember God as a point of light all the time. So that's the essence of God's teachings. So I don't know whether because this social media doesn't promote good content anymore. It should be sexual or glamorized or political or violent. Only then it will promote. So, and also there's another fault on our part that we don't put videos regularly. That's our fault as well. But anyway, if he is lucky, he will see this video throughout. He will start listening to Murli. You can Google it yourself in any language. Brahmakumaris Murli in English, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Marathi, whatever language. It is there. To understand that, this is the basic knowledge. The world was created as heaven in the beginning. We were living in palaces made of golden bricks. Just imagine how rich we were. We have lost everything because of body consciousness, because of lust. The reason the world is being filled with lust is because people have to make sins. Only then the world will be destroyed. Nobody can stop it. But it is your responsibility to save yourself or your kids. Show them this video. Take them to Brahmakumari Center. If you are living in a village, if you have no Brahmakumari Center, then watch it online. Make sure you watch this with your family daily. Watch Murli regularly. No matter how corrupted your mind are, it will definitely become pure eventually. It will take few months to realize that you are doing most of the things you are doing were wrong. So far, you've been thinking that it is right, like Ranveer. He thinks lust and spirituality is totally different things. And people, spiritual gurus, they teach you that you can attain mukti or moksha through lust. So that's Kali. It's filled with false gurus. It's filled with people who call themselves as God, Shivoham. So now we are seeing Kumbh Mela filled with people. What do you get by taking a dip in water, be it a river or ocean, whatever it is? Do you think your mind will be corrupt free just by taking a dip or by listening to the knowledge daily and by seeing each other as soul? Think for yourself. Decide whether what God says is right or whatever you have been listening so far is right. Of course, this world will go down till it gets distracted. It is our responsibility to ascend and to enter heaven. All you need to do is to remember God as a point of light as much as possible. Whether you are at school, at office, or doing business, or walking, riding, whatever you do, just remember, don't think I'm going to school, going to work, I'm going to heaven. Always be that, hold that in mind. This is the path to heaven because it is only through remembrance that you will be able to enter heaven. So it is only when you start practicing being soul conscious, you will know how your mind is corrupted. It's going to be very difficult. When you try to see a beautiful guy or girl as a soul in between the eyebrows, you will have all sorts of dirty thoughts in you because you were filling that with those thoughts so far. So it takes time for you to throw away all those thoughts. For that, God says, don't listen to anything from this Kali Yuga because that will put only impurity in you. Have no attachment to anything. Just be attached to the one God. Let Him alone be your father, mother, brother, sister, friend, everything, teacher, guru, whatever it is. Because no human knows anything, but people are falling at their feet saying that they are gurus. What do they know? Have they ever taught this? Why do you waste time falling at their feet? You are not going to gain anything. Even they are not going to gain anything. Only God has to give them mukti. Unless they take knowledge from Brahmakumaris, even they can never attain mukti. Why waste time? So India is boasting 2 crore people have taken dip yesterday in Mahakumbh. But in the same Mahakumbh Mela, there is a big stall of Brahmakumaris. I don't know how many are going there. How many have been touched that it is, in fact, the knowledge of God. It is the truth. So I hope Brother Ranveer, after watching this video, will start his path freshly towards God instead of wasting time interviewing spiritual guru after spiritual guru. So, but anyway, compared to the other YouTubers, what he is doing is good, except for his participation in this debt issue. But anyway, he hasn't got the right path. So don't waste your time, my dear brother. Go to the nearest Brahmakumari center pretty soon. It's a shame for India. He proudly says, I'm a Punjabi. It's a shame for Punjabi too to be a part of that show. He's inviting Sikhs to that show with the same dress. I don't know whether they are really Sikhs. But it's a shame because people hold Sikhs in the high regard. He's bringing down all of them, which is bad. But anyway, the world will go down. That's for sure. This is the warning by God. When this case becomes serious, the whole world is being warned. You are going on the wrong path. So everybody's mind is corrupted. No exception. That is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means filled with filthy people. You have to hold on to God's hand to come out of the filth, not spiritual guru. They're one more filth. That's it. So let me give uh, the links of some websites from where you can read Murlis of Brahmakumaris or listen to videos of Brahmakumaris. You can also Google it yourself. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you, brother. Om Shanti.